As most of you know, we've had some legendary moments on Turkey Day that has stood the test of time. Some games made us cry, while others made it the greatest Turkey Day ever. In this video, I'm going to revisit some of the greatest games on Thanksgiving Day in franchise history. With that being said, let's get into it.
Pat, man, y'all got any food on this cruiser, man?
Hey, Nate, how you doing? There it is. Look, we got dressing and everything. Pump it up. That was a free-for-all.
Zendejas is down.
Oh, I would have said something to Buddy, but he wouldn't stand on the field long enough. He put his big fat rear end into the dressing room.
The Vikings have selected wide receiver Randy Moss.
And there's a flag on the play, and Moss has caught the pass.
The Dolphins pull it out. Game over.
Quick throw. Terry Glenn flips it, looking for Owens, and the throw.
Before we talk about this game, we have to do a deep rewind. In 1987, the NFL went on a strike.
Few were welcome at the vet today. Some 2,000 union members joined forces with the striking Eagle.
I just want to see a football game.
I just got hit in the back of the head down at that gate down there. That's this one over here.
Buddy Ryan was one of the coaches who spoke up against it. The strike left the Eagles with mostly replacement players. Of course, Buddy blamed the NFL Management Council. But guess who was the head of the Management Council at the time? Dallas Cowboys GM Tex Schramm. Well, Buddy Ryan thought that this was personal towards his Eagles. In other words, he thought they were singled out by Schramm. He probably had a point. You see, when Dallas met up with the Eagles in Week 5, the Eagles had to play with mostly replacement players.
The Dallas Cowboys had their replacement team ready very early. The Philadelphia Eagles did not. Guess what happened when they met today at Texas Stadium?
While Dallas still had a lot of their original starters, including Randy White, Too Tall Jones, and Tony Dorsett. The score was 41-22. Now, of course, Buddy didn't like this at all. And get this, he claimed that Landry took advantage of his replacement players by running up the score. That's not even Landry's style, but let's say he did do this. Isn't this the same Buddy Ryan who sent all of those blitzes in the fourth quarter in 1985 when the Bears was already up 44-0? Yeah, that same Buddy Ryan. Now, let's get back to the story. So a few weeks later, Dallas and the Eagles meet up again.
The Cowboys have always been the focal point of every team's season, and this is something they're used to. And just because it might be a different reason that they'd like to beat the Cowboys, this is something that they should be accustomed to.
They used to be called America's team, but the stars on their helmets have lost their glitter. And here in Philadelphia, the Cowboys were greeted today as the guys in the black hats.
You see, this was Buddy Ryan's revenge game. And according to Clyde Simmons, it was a personal thing for Buddy. Considering what they did to him and to us, we were very pumped up. The Eagles now had their full squad. They handed it to Dallas, beating them 37-20. You see, it wasn't even the score that made this a classic. It was the last play of the game that made this a classic, or classless, I should say. Instead of running out the clock, you wouldn't believe what Buddy decides to do next.
Well, they were one of the few teams that had nobody cross the picket line. They built confidence and closeness during that period, and a victory here today over Dallas certainly will only improve that. Now Cunningham's going to throw it to Cook, and it is a flag down on the incompletion in the end zone.
And a penalty was committed against the receiver. The Eagles was now on the 1-yard line, and instead of running out the clock, Ryan called the run play and scored a touchdown.
If there wasn't bad blood before, there's going to be bad blood now. You know, I've never seen a football game where one coach doesn't acknowledge another coach at the end of a game. You know, where they either wave to one another or walk across the field. Tom Landry heading right to the locker room. Buddy Ryan heading right to the locker room. Buddy Ryan had said, what goes around comes around.
Landry was the guy who violated our coach first. Buddy saw fit to return the favor. I think that was a score that had to be settled. Now, fast forward to 1989.
It appears negotiations on the sale between majority owner Bum Bright and Arkansas oil man Jerry Jones are coming to a close.
Landry is out, Johnson is in, but Buddy, who still despised the Cowboys because of what happened in '87 and also had his own personal issues with Johnson, allegedly called a bounty on Aikman and former Eagles kicker Luis Zendejas. Dallas lost big to the Eagles that game. And that was fine. I mean, everyone beat us that year. But allegedly, calling that bounty on Aikman turned Johnson into a menace. Buddy shouldn't have done that. You see, he finally went too far this time. And he created a monster.
Oh, I would have said something to Buddy, but he wouldn't stand on the field long enough. He put his big fat rear end into the dressing room.
I resent that. I've been on a diet. I lost a couple of pounds, and I thought I was looking good.
Jimmy made a promise that no one in the building believed at the time, except for Jimmy. They went for Troy's ankle once and tried to take a knee another. We will have our day, I guarantee you. And indeed, they did. The Cowboys eventually eliminated the Eagles after the 1992 season with a 34-10 thumping in the divisional round playoff game. The year was 1966, Tom Landry's 7th year in the league.
The NFL Game of the Week. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Cleveland Browns.
It was the first Thanksgiving game in franchise history. Dallas didn't disappoint. Dallas was the hottest team in the league at that time on a 6-game winning streak. On the other hand, the Cleveland Browns were second in the league on offense behind Dallas, who was first. It was the most anticipated game of the regular season that year. The crowd broke records that evening. 80,000 people sat in the stands cheering for their team.
This is Lindsey Nelson. As 84,721 fans, the largest pro football crowd of the season and the biggest throng to witness a sporting event in Cleveland, jams Municipal Stadium.
The Browns had 8 Pro Bowlers on the field that year. Leroy Kelly, Paul Warfield, Dick Schrath, and Gene Hickerson are all Hall of Fame players. On the other hand, Dallas sent 9 players to the Pro Bowl that year. Perkins, Meredith, Hayes, Lily Renfro, Howley, and other Cowboy legends were all elite and in the prime of their careers. When the game finally started, doomsday came to play. They shut down the high-powered Browns offense. Dallas put the game on the legs of legendary Don Perkins as they beat the Browns 26-14.
For the touchdown, that puts the Dallas Cowboys out in front,
continuing their winning streak all the way to the championship. 1993 was one of the golden years of the Dallas Cowboys dynasty. The triplets, the Great Wall of Dallas, Haley, Lett, Washington, Harper, Kevin Smith, Brown. I mean, we had all kinds of stars on that team that still resonates to the day. That team was stacked. Turkey Day fell on a snowy winter land in Dallas, Texas.
As many as 20,000 people in the area without power now. That number will certainly go up through the evening.
This game had a lot to remember. Dallas had just come off an upset loss to the Falcons, who went 6-10 that year, so the Wizard was in overdrive this game. Dallas had the tiebreaker for the first place in the NFC East because they beat the Giants in Week 10. But the Giants were still a game behind. All the Giants needed was for Dallas to lose and win their game the following week, and Dallas would be in second place. So the Wizard was all about business.
A winter storm has taken grip on the Dallas metropolitan area. Yesterday, 62 degrees. Right now, 26 degrees.
The Dolphins got out to a 7-0 lead in the first quarter when Keith Byers ran a 77-yard touchdown.
To Bird, to Byers, Byers first to Terry, and look at him go, he's on his way. Keith Byers all the way to the goal line, is he in? Touchdown, oh my!
But in the second quarter, Kevin Williams caught fire in Wonderland, catching a 4-yard touchdown.
Aikman, lots of time, touchdown!
And running a fun kickoff return back for 64 yards.
This one not much better. Williams at the 40, 45, 50. He's going to go all the way. Kevin Williams, touchdown!
The Dolphins kicked 2 field goals and entered the fourth quarter trailing 13-14. The game, which had 3 lead changes, ended in one of the most iconic endings in NFL history. The Dolphins drove down the field.
Short yardage. 2nd and 8, 2 minutes to go. Down by 1. Underneath he goes. Myers is drilled. Did he get a yard? Yes, he got a yard and a half and a first down. Bird get him downfield. It's caught by Fryer. Underneath. Screen to Byers. Byers vaults to Byers. Gets a block. Gets out of bounds.
What a play.
All the Dolphins had to do was kick a 41-yard field goal with 15 seconds left on the clock. Peter Stoyanovich kicked the ball.
Has become a memorable Thanksgiving Day game. Doug Peterson to hold. Blocked.
As the ball twirled on the snow, it was finally over. Everyone was celebrating. I mean, even the announcers said that Cowboys won the game.
The Cowboys will win. The Cowboys will win.
But then, everything changed within a twinkling of an eye. Lett attempted to recover the ball.
Jimmy Jones.
Now someone touches the football here. Watch what happens. It's Leon Lett. No!
However, he slipped as he went down and knocked the ball forward. In the resulting chase for possession, the Dolphins recovered in the end zone.
Oh, Lett, who is haunted by his Super Bowl.
But due to much kick ruse, the ball was awarded to them on the 1-yard line. That's when Stoyanovich ruined my Thanksgiving Day. What's crazy about the Dolphins is that after this game, they never won another game all year. This was literally their Super Bowl. But that was fine because we didn't lose another game either. And we went to the real Super Bowl that year, where we won 2 Super Bowl games in a row. And Leon Lett, he ended up having a fantastic legendary career with the Dallas Cowboys. It's 1994 on Thanksgiving Day, and Dallas had to start the red-headed genius from Princeton. Garrett was the third quarterback on the depth chart, and what made matters even worse, he had to play against NFL legend Brett Favre. The Cowboys were trailing 17-6 by halftime, but the second half is what legendary stories are made of. The red-headed quarterback slung fire with a gunslinger from the Midwest.
Pass and throw it. Going to got Harper. Harper's going to score. Novacek. Garrett. Going deep for Urban. Flag.
And drew up touchdowns all second half. He threw passes as far as the heavens, and Harper ran them down, completing 3 passes for 91 yards to Harper. It was one of the best Thanksgiving games in Dallas history. This is another fascinating memory in the archives of Thanksgiving games in franchise history. A few weeks before this game, the Redskins beat Dallas in a close match. Redskins linebacker Daron Tolbert said that all Washington had to do was knock quarterback Roger Staubach out of the game to win, since the Cowboys only had Clint Longley as their backup. Longley was an unknown rookie at the time, so he was basically making fun at the Dallas Cowboys depth chart at quarterback. Well, the Redskins got their wish. In the second quarter, they knocked Staubach out with a concussion, and that's when that unknown rookie came in and played on a level that haunted the Washington fans for decades. Dallas was down 16-3 in the third quarter, and that's when the Mad Bomber Longley caught fire and led the Cowboys to 3 second-half touchdowns. This was the perfect ending, and to quote the saying, "Be careful what you ask for. You might just get it." This is my top 5 most memorable Cowboys Thanksgiving games in franchise history. What's yours? Until next time, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and as always, thanks for watching.